So, all right. So you joined Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties started. When did they start?
2014, so 10 years ago.
Did he start? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't really.
It might have been something that he was toying around with a little before that, but
Okay.
at least the first album was recorded and released in 2014.
I honestly never even got into the Wonder Years until what's that album with Cardinal?
Blah, blah, blah. No Closer to Heaven.
No Closer to Heaven. That was like the first album I really got into because it went a little bit more like rock. I'm not like you said. You're not really like a huge pop punk guy.
Yeah, I admittedly am not a punk. Like I like skate punk and I like a lot of punk. I like punk by default.
Same.
So pop punk is something that I can appreciate, but I've never been like, oh yeah, like I'm, and that's fine. I don't have to. but the Wonder Years, like I've watched them go from starting to go to not a completely different band, but just directions. And I think that everything they've done has been better than the last.
Oh, absolutely.
And like you do not see that with a lot of bands to be putting out good music like year after year.
Yeah.
It's almost unheard of in a lot of circumstances, especially in that genre.
Soupy's a really good songwriter.
He's an incredibly talented guy.
I would compare because when I tell people like, oh yeah, I listen to Wonder Years or pop punk, they're like, I don't like pop punk. I'm like, I would equate him. I'm a huge like old Counting Crows guy, and it's more of like his songwriting and his like lyrics and like the emotion.
Yeah.
And a lot of his stuff really reminds me of that. Like he's telling about like journey stories of where he's been and intertwining poetry and art and things with these stories of them touring. Just a very, even if you're not into pop punk, like I think even just like reading his lyrics, I mean, it's just it's like poetry.
I think they are phenomenal musicians. Everybody in the band can play well, write well, love them. But I think the driving force with most things that involve Dan is his writing. Like I do feel he's an incredible writer. He always has been. I mean, since he was a kid, he even wrote for my zines and stuff.
Really?
Like did like reviews and stuff. And like he's just an incredibly well worded individual. So it's not surprising to me that with the chances he's got, that people have been very welcoming of it. And people fuck with it. And I can talk about it for a very long time, but it's definitely crazy that they've done what they have and he's done what he has as a result of just kind of being good at it and being painfully persistent and just never giving up. You just being like, well, I'm going to do this either way. So you could either ride with me or hate on me, and we're not going to care. It's a very Lansdale way to think about things. Like we're going to do it anyway. So